Welcome to Love Is, a journey to love according to 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Over the next week, we invite you to sail with us as we travel through 1 Corinthians with couples around the world, and as we discover the meaning of love through Christ's lenses. So fasten your seatbelt, cuddle up under a cozy blanket, don't forget to grab your favorite snack, and join us on Love Is.
So what does love mean to you?
What does love mean to me is, it meant
Oh,
different.
thanks for my tea for
All right. Sky, should I drink it too?
if you want.
It means a lot. I think love means
Love means a lot. Okay.
it means a lot in the case where, but it means something. It's a choice. It's a choice that you make, and it's a choice that you're willing to live with. And you not just willing, but you are excited to live with.
Okay.
You are challenged to live with, and you look forward to live with. That's love, I think, and you try to express as much as you can.
Wow.
Yeah.
To me, love is, so I'm big on loyalty, right?
Okay.
So to me, love means I'll be there when I say I'll be there, and even when you're at your worst, I'll show up in spite of you.
Exactly.
So to me, that's love. Like, I'll be there. Whether you want me or not, I'll be there. I'm going to stick with you, by you, through it all, I'll be there. So love to me is bring presence. That's what love means to me. Like,
Interesting. That's good.
yeah, so that's love to me.
It's good.
So I get your back, even
got
when
my
you get on
back,
my
right.
last nerve.
I know you always get my back. Watch out, she got my back.
I got his back. So how do you think you demonstrate love in our marriage?
The way I demonstrate love, I think, is through action, in a sense where, it doesn't always have to be, the big gesture or things like that. In a little thing, and be a little more thoughtful. Take the time to kind of think about the little thing that, people probably take it for granted. I'll give an example, for instance. I know for time to time during the month end, the end of the month, you're kind of busy and things like that. And I always try not to put on you. So, for instance, I'll get up morning and know that, hey, she's tired. I'll go and get Zoe, get her ready and get the dog out, get breakfast, drop her off, and come back if I can do the dishes, whatever it is, to clean up. And then I'll jump back to my work. And between work, I know that, she's always busy. So I go pick up Zoe, come back and try to get some food or whatever it is. So it's there. It's kind of thinking about you in a sense, as much as possible. I say, what can I do to make her life better?
I have a question for you, though, follow up though. I feel like sometimes we love our partners through our own lenses, because to me, yes, and I appreciate all that you do, especially during those months, and because it can be crazy. But my question is always, because I hear a lot of couples saying that, like, but I buy flowers for you, I do this, I wash the dishes, but are you loving me through your own love language, or are you loving me through my love language? Because, at the end of the day, and don't get me wrong, I'm just asking, because that's the example that you gave, and I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, if you don't love me through my love language, it's going to be even hard for me to even appreciate the thing that you do. So do you think sometimes we love out of, I don't want to say obligation, because to you, yes, you are doing the right thing, but are you loving me through my love language? So do you think that might be an issue sometimes?
You're right. I think we should love each other, understand your need, try to love you the way you want to be loved, and I'm not going to say that every time I do it is always perfect, really. If I had to love you the way you want to be loved, I'll be broke before. No,
That's not
no, it's a
true.
joke.
All I want is
It's
you.
just a joke.
I just want you to bring me flowers.
Okay, but here's the thing. I think as much as we can, we need to also understand what the other person loves.
Exactly.
How do you want to be loved? And try our best. And in a business, I think we often the other may think they're doing better by trying to do the best that they can, you know, to take care of the other person without really understanding if that's what the other one needs. Do you really need that? Is it what you're expecting? How you want to be loved in that sense. So as much as possible, I think I try. You have some miss here and there. Hey guys, always gonna be some miss somewhere. Here's the thing. I always believe you also look at the intent of the other person. You know, we may not always get it right, but our heart is always at the right place and trying as much. And so once you have that, you can always add to it. You know, hey, am I doing the right thing? I may think this is what you want, you know, but is it really what she wants?
Am I meeting her needs? I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, his need.
Yeah, all right. That's fair.
So what do you think about that question?
I just think you still need to bring me flowers because that's my love language. I've been buying myself flowers. That's wrong.
Well, I try to buy you flowers from time to time.
You see, you're now loving me to my own.
Now we have some fake flowers.
I don't want the fake flowers. I want
the real ones. You wear them every
stop
day,
that
so
nonsense.
you have to. And we have flower outdoor.
We don't even have flowers. It's almost winter. All those flowers are gone. What you talking about?
But it's important. So how do you, in your own way, try to love me and express that love toward me?
I think one of the things I do, first of all, to me is to give you the respect that you deserve as, you know, as a man first, and then as my husband. That's the first thing. Do I always do it right? No, not always. And another thing, as a woman, it's funny because for those who don't know, I stayed home after I had Zoe for close to almost 5 years. And to me, it was, okay, this guy is working so hard. How can I make this house a home for him? You know, people often ask me, I'm always hosting. We always have friends over because I know you are a homebody. So one thing I starting to do was to bring your friend over and create that environment where I knew it was nurturing, it was fun, it was home. You know, so that's one way for me to demonstrate my love to you by I was going to say love and respect, by the respect, but also just the little things every day, like providing a hot meal whenever I can, spending your money whenever I want.
All right, that's part now.
You know, but yeah, I think the respect, like I say, I'm not always good at it.
Do you think it's all that I want? Have you ever asked
No,
me?
it's not all that you want. Again, like I say, it boils down to your love language. And I know your love language is affirmation, you know, like, that's one area I felt miserably, because I think that's the pride side of me also. I'm not going to tell him. It's going to, you know, so I need to improve on that one. A lot. And I'll be the first to admit, I don't always do good when it comes to that. So like, affirmative words, I'm more of I will criticize more than affirm you. So yeah, that's my truth, and I'm gonna speak it and shame the devil.
All right, that's good.
Yeah. What's the difference between love and likeness?
The difference between love and likeness. That's a good question, I think. I always believe, I know we go through that stage where we ask ourselves, hey, you always say, you know, I don't like you right now and stuff
I
like
don't know. I say, I don't love you. And you always say, no, you don't like me.
You still love me, but you don't like
But
me.
I don't always love you.
No, I think it's much to say you don't love the other person, because that's strong. When you say strong,
and those moments when you're acting like crazy,
that's just
there's no love to be.
No, I think that's at that moment. At those moments, it's just you don't like me that much.
I'm telling you,
because it's a feeling. It's something that it's the reason
you
being.
You really want to be loved, don't you?
No. The reason being is after a few couple days or couple hours, whatever it is, and then you love me again, so you forget about that. So it means it like is really based on feelings.
Like?
Yeah, I think likeness is more based on feeling. Love is more deeper. It's based on, it goes beyond just a feeling, going to a place of choice. And with love, you decide that regardless, I'll always, when I was ready to marry you, right? One of the questions I asked myself was, hey,
Story
what happened?
time.
No, that's true.
Tell me what
and
happened. What was the
after
question you asked
we
yourself?
had marital counseling, and it's important to have that. Those who don't have it, you want to get married, have marital counseling, and have people that will help you. Premarital counseling, yeah. But one of the questions I asked myself was, hey, what if this beautiful girl
He's talking about
one day,
me.
yeah, and one day, because of a reckless driving, get into an accident or something, or something happened.
I'm not reckless.
No, not really, but if something happened, nature, whatever it is, and she doesn't have this physical look and things like that, hey, life happened, burn, whatever it is, it could happen. At that point, am I still going to love her and stay faithful with her? Or am I going to say, well, I think it's time to bounce? Those are the questions I went into asking myself. I didn't just go into the, it should look beautiful and that, but I wanted to be serious about that. I'm like, hey, if something happened, it talks actually not really about you, it talks about me. If I'm really ready to commit to make that decision, it's a decision that I'm making for life. And, regardless what happened, and that's the same thing, regardless whether that day you're nice and that day you don't want to cook my beans or whatever it is. And I haven't eaten beans in a while. Am I still going to love you? I may not always like you. And there was big time.
So you don't always like me?
No.
You don't?
Not always.
Why not? I'm likable.
The goal is always trying to be likable. But look, life happened.
Listen, but I don't happen. Life happen. I don't happen.
No, I think life happened, which means it affects things.
I know, I'm pulling your leg.
Yeah, but it's not like I like you always.
But you should.
I try, but not always. You're not making it easy from time.
Excuse you.
But yet, in those moments, you fall back into the love to handle to support your feeling. So I'm not always right. I don't make my decision and things like that based on, because one day I'm like, hey, you piss me off, you do something I don't like. And, in marriage, you will discover each other, right? We've gone through a lot of things, right? We've gone through a lot of issues and things like that. And in those moments where we really didn't like each other, and we have to ask ourselves, do we still love the other person to go on? And I think that's the difference. And that's the reason why many actually are not sticking to it. And in time we live in, I think it really exposes what we have inside of us, right? Don't you think so?
I agree. I mean, the virus, the confinement and stuff has really bring things into surface. But I wanted to read a definition I read today about love. They say love means to be deeply committed and connected to someone or something. Because you mentioned maybe the reason a lot of people have not made it, especially with the confinement, is the love parts, likeness versus love. Like, I have the choice to bounce whenever I feel like it. And then reading this definition, actually, I agree with what you just said. It's meant to deeply be committed. I'm committed to you no matter. I'm like I was saying at the beginning, is to make the conscious decision to be there, to be present, deeply connected to someone. So the basic meaning of love is to feel more than liking towards someone. I don't not only I love you, but I also like you, and it's beyond that. I just like you because the sun is shining today, but it's I love you.
And it's important to have that part of in love too.
I mean, you have to like the person.
You have to like the person first. and you have to keep liking the person, you're going to be living with that person all your life.
Or they have to make themselves likable.
Yeah, you try as much. And
Emmanuel, seriously, sometimes you
also,
make it so hard for me to like you. Like 2 weeks ago, I told you, Ave, you were getting on my nerve, boy. You were getting on my nerve. I was like, Emmanuel, right now you're making it so hard for me to like you. I'm trying so hard. And you ignored me. We need to work on it.
I didn't know.
You see, our marriage is not we have problems.
We have problems.
We have
Well, we have issues here and there. We have hiccups.
Major issues sometimes.
Yeah. But yeah, but it's important. I think the pandemic, what it has shown was that if you had an issue and you never resolved it, if you have issue, those things will resurface, and they will resurface just because you are in close, you're in close proximity with the other person you live, and most people have not really lived with the other person.
We're busy.
You're busy, yeah, and it really tests your commitment. It tests whether you really love the other person, because you're discovering that person in a deeper level, and you're discovering the things that some of the things that you probably knew or you probably didn't know, whatever it is, but they are there in your face, and you have to confront them.
So let me ask you this. We've been working from home, both of us. This is the first time ever since March. I mean, we there.
Yeah.
Have you discovered anything new that I should know? That's
about you?
Yeah. Do you still like me?
Oh, I mean.
Oh, you like me less?
I've known I've discovered you from a long time ago, so it's not like anything I see that surprises me about you. Not really. It doesn't surprise me. It just it's still there. You know, some of the stuff I don't like, I'm like, well, I knew it. I'm like, you remember when we got married, I said, there are things that you will say about me that will change, and the things I say about you that will change, and things about you that will never change. I have to ask myself, am I willing to live through it, even when those things don't change? You know,
That's
and I've seen things that are like, hey, I make those decisions. I'm like, hey, something will change. Something I'll try. I'm always going to pray, Lord, have mercy, change her or something. Hey, I don't know how long it will take. Sometimes it will take a year. Something will take 10 years, some 30 years, some 40 years, some 50, 70 years. God knows. But still, I make that decision. And I'm like, okay, I'm still going to. And if you can, before getting married, you should basically say, hey, you know what, I can deal with this situation. I shouldn't be married with them.
Yeah. True. Yeah. Nice
but
conversation.
I'm still the same. You're still the same. It's nothing new, actually.
No, you're not.
You're just going to see all the time.
As you're getting older, you're getting stubborn. Oh, Lord, I need patience. So no, you're not the same.
I'm not really getting stubborn.
You're getting what?
I don't know. I'm not going to say I'm getting stubborn.
I'm telling you, you're getting stubborn. Welcome to our marriage. So with everything that we say, is love an obligation?
If love is an obligation.
So with everything we just talked about, like likeness and I don't like you, I love you. So do you think love is an obligation?
That's a good... it's a tough question. Where are you getting this
I
question
know,
from?
I'm deep like that. That's why
love
you
is an
married me.
obligation.
Is it? Do I owe you my love, or do you owe me your love?
If you're committed to me, yeah, I think so. I don't know if there's a right answer or not, but I'm just looking at it from, if it's an obligation for me to love you. Yeah. Not really. It's not an obligation. It's not like somebody is pointing a gun at me and like, you need to love this girl.
So love is a choice.
Love is a choice. I think love is a choice.
But not an obligation.
It's not an obligation. Not an obligation will be like a burden. It's like somebody forcing you towards something. It's like.
So you mean you're not obligated to love your spouse?
I mean, it's not like I'm obligated to love you, because it's already there. Before you be my spouse, I have to love you. So it's yeah. I cannot just marry somebody I don't love.
No, you like me.
No, I like you. I love you. Then I marry you.
That's cool.
Yeah, you don't really just love. You like the person, and then you develop in love, and then you marry that person. So the spouse is really there. So the obligation where it's like, hey, I have to love you. I'm already there, so it's not like an obligation or something. It's not like whether I owe you love. Actually, it's a choice that I made to do that. So as far as me, I don't think the pressure doesn't have to come from you. The question is come from me to make sure that I always love you, to express that love. And likewise, you have to have, I can't push and I can't press you and say, hey, you need to love me, you need to love me. No, I don't think that should be it should be so. I have just to love you. It's a choice I made, and now an obligation where I'm forced. Because if it's there, then you have to work for it. And every time you feel like you have to do an extra effort in a sense, things have to come kind of organic. When you love your peace, you do them not because, it'll make things easier actually. Mm-hmm. It's not like you're forcing something to happen. Because it's there, you just, I love you. It's organic, it's natural.
I agree. No, I agree. I totally agree with you. Love it's a choice. Mm-hmm. I choose to love you, I choose not to. Yeah. So every day I wake up and choose to love you in spite of what I see that I may not like.
Now, in marriage, you marry that person and you get into a covenant, right? Yeah. And before God.
But remember, people break covenants.
But should it be broken?
In a perfect world, no. But I think there is some instances where the covenant of marriage can be broken. If you cheat on me, yes, we're done.
Yeah, like you say, those instances where we get into more of a...
Yeah, that's not the thing of the... Yeah. So love is a choice, I think.
Yeah, we can discuss that in this.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
Let us know. That's an interesting... so in the comment, go ahead and just let us know what you think about.
Let us know what you think. Is love an obligation?
An obligation, and then we'll discuss... I think when we have the time to discuss about love and marriage and divorce and things like that. Yeah.
What does love is patient mean to me? Actually, I also pull a definition of patience. What is patience? Right? So I read this. Patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's just a definition. Does it apply to me? Always.
That's funny. The place of love and patience, and since we'll be talking about love is patient, right? Yeah. I think it's the first thing that God, even that, Paul mentioned it, that love is patient. What is patient, like you say? I think it's the ability. I also think it's the ability to kind of patiently wait on the other person.
It's funny that you say that, because the other definition I read is patience is a person's ability to wait something out or endure something tedious without getting riled up. Having patience means you can remain calm even when you've been waiting forever, or dealing with something painstakingly slow. That's how you say that?
Yeah.
Or trying to teach someone how to do something and they just don't get it. Like sometimes you just don't get it.
And then you take your time too.
No, I don't take my time.
But here, what patient is it's what is important, I think, in marriage, and I believe is it gives you room to grow. You give the other person room to grow. If you are patient with that person, you basically give them the ability. It's like a kid, right? When you have with your child, they don't understand anything. You take your time to explain to them, and you're patient with them until their brain and all this cell kind of lines up and they figure that complex 4 plus 2.
4 plus 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I sue. I don't know.
Exactly. And then you're like, But patience is just that. You give them the time so that they can grow until they catch up to where you are. And I think in marriage it's important to have that, is because imagine you have 2 different personalities, 2 different people, 2 different background, hey, luckily we're from the same country, right? Originally from the same. But even back home, probably we grew up in a different circle and things like that. And so we have this different background, family-wise and things like that. So it's time for us to kind of bring all together and becoming one, like the Bible says, the 2 shall be one. It's a process. And so in the process, things will be difficult. Like you mentioned, that definition is things will be tough and things will be this. and you're just making that room. You give the other person room to kind of, hey, let's see that person out to grow, to become the same way.
To me, love is patient, is being married 13 years and still here.
It's still here. What do you mean?
I'm still here? Emmanuel, I'm
That's
patient. Okay? That's
So you should pick up.
That's patience right there, having options to just pack up and just, which I did. I packed up once and left, and I got kicked out from my mom's
But
house.
I was patient enough to stay home and wait for you to come back. That's patient. That's the definition of patient.
No, you just
And
knew I was
remember
going
No, I
you
knew
just
you would
knew
be
I was
coming
gonna be
back. So
kicked.
I was patient with you.
But that's not good. You never chased after me. That's not
No,
good.
I was patient and I'm giving you room to grow. So you get used to, hey, if things get bad, you don't run off, you just stay home and let's talk it
That's
out.
a lame excuse.
It was being patient.
No, you were not
know.
being patient. You knew I was going to get kicked out from my mom's place, so I'll come back.
Hey,
There's
that's-
absolutely no patience over
That's
there.
patient. I didn't budge. But it's important to have that. It's important because we're probably going to have those moments where the other person doesn't behave the same way, doesn't do the thing you expect them to do. And how are we going to react to that?
Oh my gosh, I'm glad that you say that, because I remember talking to someone, right? And she was getting frustrated with her husband. Like, we've been talking about the same thing. And I am that way too sometimes. Like, I've been telling you over and over for 13 years. So my thing is, at which points do you really stop exercise? I mean, patience is tough.
Okay.
You know, we talk about patience in marriage. There's sometimes you like, I have it. I mean, I'm done. It's been the same thing over and over and over and over. But the Bible, God asks us to exercise patience.